All right, today here on Twin J Racing, we're going to try to figure out why we lost oil pressure. That's never a good sight. We're already into this, and we're going to find out what happened, maybe even why, but definitely going to figure out what happened. So let's follow along and see what we get done today. Back to Twin J Racing. We're in the middle of a project. I was only going to pull a few bolts out last night, and next thing I know, my whole motor jumped out of the car, and I didn't video anything because I honestly didn't have any intentions of pulling the motor, but it kind of happened. Long story short, we were at the track yesterday, and we lost the oil pressure. Well, didn't lose oil pressure. We don't have as good an oil pressure as we should have. It went from having around 50 to 60 to 15 to 20. So something's hurt. There's a bunch of metallic flake in the oil. So it's definitely eating bearings if it's not something worse. But we're going to pull the oil pan off here real quick. Kind of get a look-see and see if we can see anything going on inside the bottom of this motor. So that's the plan right now. We're going to pull the oil pan, take a look, see what we find. Don't know if it's going to be good, don't know if it's going to be bad. I truly don't know what it's going to be because the car was great. It was repeating numbers, doing what it was supposed to, and then all of a sudden it just fell off. And then low oil pressure. So I don't know what it is. I currently don't see any cracks in the main web. I'm not saying they're not there. I just currently don't see any. And that's what I was trying to find. Was any cracks in the main webs. So now we'll carry on to trying to look at some other stuff. Not a good sign. I know you guys just watched me pull this cap off. It'll be on time lapse. And now I go to pull this cap off, and this bearing does not want to come free. So I'm curious to see what kind of condition that's in. We're going to find out. But you want to be careful. You don't want to gouge your crank with the screwdriver in case it is okay, but it's definitely not. All right, like I said, as soon as I took that apart, something's not right. That's fine. I can actually pull this cap back off. I just set it on here. Kind of hard to do one-handed, but hang on, let me pull that cap. Alright, sorry guys. This cap is good. Hang on. This cap is good. That bearing is great. Perfect. That's the next one. I guess we're going to keep going in this adventure today. I'll put you guys back over here. And luckily enough, these caps have a nice little edge down here that I can pry against to get them off. This one does not want to come off. It's probably because I haven't taken this stud out yet. That bearing's got a little bit of wear in it, but it's not bad. Not like that other one. Alright. That bearing, I mean, it's not bad. I would say that's okay. Some people will probably be like, oh, that's terrible. My world, that's okay. I've seen a lot worse in race motors over the years. So we got the front one. So what I'm wondering is if we lost oil pressure to the front of this motor. And that one's fine. It literally just ate the number 2 bearing, which that worries me more than, oh well, it ate the front of the crank. It was well on its way to spinning. I don't know. I mean, you can see some trash went through it. It's definitely not bad, but it's also not as tight. I mean, there's tension on it, but it's not as tight as I'd like it to be. My personal opinion, but it still hangs in there. Throw this stuff back together to at least hold it together so I can roll it over, take the heads and everything off. But you guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Well, since I took you guys along last night while we took this apart, we're going to go ahead and start taking the top end apart tonight. And because we know it's got to come apart after what we found last night. So we got to get the top end apart so we can take all the pistons, all the rods, all that fun stuff out. So figured, yeah, I'll bring you guys along for the ride tonight. And we'll see what we end up with. I'm not going to work on it real long, but anything's better than nothing. See how far we can get the stud girdles off, start taking the rocker arms and the push rods and everything out, get that all squared away, and then intake's got to come off, distributor's got to come off. I don't know how far we're getting tonight. Continue on tearing this down. Last time we got it down to where we're ready to pull the intake. All the intake bolts are out. Then we're going to get the heads off of it. We've already got the rocker arms and everything off. Then we got to tear the front end apart, get the water pump, get the timing cover, get the motor plate, get everything off the front so we can take the timing chain out. We just got a lot of tear down to do today, so we're just going to get after it, put the time lapse on, and go to town. That's the plan anyways. On this, because we're running an Oldsmobile motor, 455 here, this is a small block Chevy water pump. A friend of mine made me some aluminum adapters in here we have to take off. And then take the water pump off, take the aluminum adapters off to get this motor plate off. But we also have to get the balancer off to get the motor plate off. Balancer has to come out anyways. So we got some stuff we got to do. But I wanted to point out these aluminum adapters I run so I can run a small block Chevy water pump on an Oldsmobile motor. Which, you know, if you're at the racetrack and you need a water pump, you can probably find a small block Chevy one. You ain't going to find an Oldsmobile one. We're working on the front of this motor. Got the motor plate off just now. And I wanted to point out I have a two-piece timing cover that I've cut the top off of because we don't need it. We're not running a regular water pump. We've welded up the two holes that were here on it. We have an extra long dowel pin I had to put in to run the motor plate. And then the timing pointer so it all fit together. That's the standard length dowel pin. That's the one I put in. And then for these lower bowl holes on the motor plate where it's already chamfered, you got to run one of these bolts so it doesn't hit the harmonic balancer. So there's just a lot of little things just in this timing cover area we've had to go through to make it work, because it's an Oldsmobile. We won't get into much other stuff. I'll point out a lot more of this stuff as we put it back together. You know, I'll try to point out some more of the details on what is special about this motor. So that's my plan anyways. But we'll get back to the other one because I'm blocking it as I'm talking to this one, because I'm recording with that one. Alright, a little quick insert here. I have a hex adjust timing cover, or timing chain, where I can vary the timing back and forth to make sure I get the cam set dead where I want it. I'm looking for it, but I can't see it right now. But there's a mark, and it's probably just away from it. But there's a mark, oh, there it is. There's a marks right here, and then there's a mark in here. You use the degree wheel and you get it all set where you want it. And you can vary your cam timing 4 to 5 degrees. Alright, actually I think it's 10 degrees, but you can vary your cam timing if you need to, or to just get it set right. But we had another thing. We took the timing cover off, and my oil slinger is completely destroyed, which is really, really strange to me. Why is that destroyed? But it is. And where did all of this go? Many different theories on stuff, on whether you should engrave, whether you should hammer your numbers into these rods. You need to be able to know what numbers these are for each one. This is 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. And you need to be able to identify them and put them back. And I mean, I want the piston to go in the same hole. I want everything to go back where it needs to go. So I've always stamped them in the past, but there's a lot of things that were going around right now saying that you really shouldn't hit them with a stamp. I don't know. It's worked for 20 plus years of my life. I don't know why it should, well, I'm 20 plus years I've been doing this stuff. So I just want to make sure. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the Dremel and I'm going to engrave them. But I need to make sure they go back in the same hole. When we're all said and done, everything needs to go back in the same hole. But I just want to take a minute and explain this before I started engraving. As you can tell, we got it all completely tore down. Cranks out Rods are, our heads are off, everything out, all the pistons are out. Number 8 rod had some trash in it. They all had some trash in it, but number 8 had exceptional trash in it. Not sure what that's going to lead us to on that one, but I'm pretty sure nothing looks like it's damaged or hurt. It's just, you know, that's number 8. You can really see where it went right through there. The rest of them are not too bad, but so we got that. Got our other pile of parts over here, the crank, the heads, just like motor souffle everywhere in my shop right now. But this is the main thing. There's some parts here. We're going to get this all cleaned up, kind of organized. I'm not going to do that on camera, but main thing is it's a part. We were worried. I really thoroughly inspected it, but there is no breakage of the number 2 main web, which is a common problem with these. Usually it's number 4, but there's no breakage of the main web, which was something we were concerned may be a problem. So we got her tore down. We're going to take it down, get everything checked out so we can get it put back together and back in the car, hopefully soon. But that's where I think we're going to leave you guys at. Anyways, I hope you enjoy. And we'll do this. All right. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Share, like, and subscribe, and come back for the next one.